Have you ever wondered what really happens behind the picture-perfect beaches, sacred temples, and bustling street markets of Thailand? In this video, we'll unravel stories that guidebooks dare not tell and reveal the grittier side of this beloved destination. From secret nightlife spots to cultural dilemmas buried beneath tourist-friendly smiles, you'll discover why Thailand is so much more than paradise on earth. There's a hidden life waiting to be exposed. Hey there, it's Lucas from Unmasked, Planet, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to this deep dive into Thailand's unseen world. If you're new here, join our growing community of curious travelers and explorers by tapping that subscribe button. Here's a quick challenge for you. Type in the comments, "I seek the truth," to keep your motivation strong and show us that you're ready to unveil the hidden side of this exotic land. Thailand is often portrayed as a magical realm overflowing with pristine beaches, glittering temples, and vibrant traditions that seduce countless visitors each year. The Land of Smiles, as it's frequently called, conjures images of warm welcomes and unforgettable adventures. But if you scratch the surface, you'll find a swirl of cultural enigmas, economic tensions, and social complexities that most tourists never see. Think about it. Behind every Instagram-worthy shot in Bangkok or Phuket, there's an unseen narrative quietly unfolding in the background. What if we told you that some of the country's most iconic areas have unsettling stories lurking beneath their golden facades? Take the bustling city of Bangkok, for instance. It's celebrated for its floating markets, neon-lit nightlife, and centuries-old temples. But hidden in its labyrinth of alleyways are entire subcultures that thrive on the city's chaotic underbelly. Everything from unregulated street vendors living day to day to clandestine gambling dens that remain invisible to the average tourist. Do these secrets tarnish the city's reputation, or do they add another layer of intrigue to a place that's already legendary for its contrasts? Then there's the question of what draws people to Thailand in such massive numbers. Yes, the eye. Beaches are undeniably gorgeous. The food is beloved worldwide, and the culture is steeped in rich traditions that date back centuries. However, darker motivations can also lure certain crowds. We're talking about unscrupulous businesses that exploit people's fascination with so-called exotic experiences, fueling unethical tourism practices. There's a growing awareness that the very culture that welcomes outsiders with open arms can also be taken advantage of by those seeking to profit from its vulnerabilities. How does this dynamic shape the perception of Thailand internationally, and what does it mean for the local population? We can't ignore the impact on wildlife and the environment either. Activities like elephant riding, once seen as a thrilling must-do, have been exposed for harmful practices behind the scenes. Tourists flock to see tigers in certain sanctuaries, only to learn that not all are as ethical as they advertise. Such revelations are pivotal because they force us to question our role as visitors. Are we complicit in perpetuating inhumane practices, or can we help to reshape tourism into something more sustainable? Consider also the lesser-known stories of Thai superstition, spirituality, and the intersection between ancient beliefs and modern living. The presence of spirit houses in homes and businesses is common, offering a glimpse into how tradition remains deeply ingrained in daily life. Meanwhile, Western influences have crept in, altering local communities in surprising ways, sometimes beneficial, sometimes detrimental. This clash can manifest in subtle cultural misunderstandings or in entire industries shifting gears to accommodate new trends. Against this complex backdrop, we have to ask, are we seeing the real Thailand or just a curated highlight reel? The allure of easygoing lifestyles and cheap travel packages may mask deeper issues like income inequality, educational gaps, and social pressures. Thailand's dirty secrets might not be so dirty if they were addressed openly and tackled responsibly, but many remain obscured by the glitz of tourism. Much like searching for a hidden temple in a remote province, discovering the nation's underbelly demands curiosity and an open mind. Throughout this video, we'll dig into stories that range from the downright shocking to the quietly revealing. You might feel conflicted, fascinated, or perhaps inspired to look at Thailand with fresh eyes. By the end, we aim to show you a side of this country that most people never even consider.
We invite you to question everything, reflect on the role of tourism in shaping local realities, and explore how curiosity can be a powerful tool for breaking down stereotypes. Stick around. There are revelations ahead you won't want to miss.
Block 2, Development, 3,000 characters. Let's begin with one of the most talked about secret aspects of Thailand, the nightlife that caters not only to thrill-seeking tourists, but also to an entire sub-economy beneath the surface. Bangkok's red light districts like Patpong, Nana Plaza, and Soi Cowboy are infamous worldwide. But beyond the neon signs and boisterous bars lies a labyrinth of hidden establishments where different rules apply. These places often operate in a legal gray area, pushing the boundaries of what's sanctioned. Some travelers are fully aware of these venues, others stumble upon them by accident, unprepared for the gritty realities they encounter. Why does this underbelly flourish? The answer might be more straightforward than you think: demand and anonymity. Many foreigners feel empowered to explore vices they'd never dare touch back home. Meanwhile, local workers can make more money in these industries than they would in conventional jobs. It's a trade-off that's neither black nor white, painted in shades of gray by economic necessity and cultural nuances. People might jump to moral judgments, but it's important to note that the circumstances driving these underground worlds are complex and often rooted in societal structures that don't offer easy alternatives. Let's pivot to the tourism industry as a whole. Thailand thrives on international visitors, and entire towns have been reshaped to cater to foreign tastes. Beach destinations like Pattaya and Phuket boast 5-star resorts, sensational nightlife, and Western comforts at every turn. Yet just behind these glitzy promenades, local communities grapple with rising living costs and the struggle to preserve their cultural identity. Temples that once welcomed quiet worshippers are now hotspots for photo ops, and certain sacred rituals risk turning into commercialized performances. Consider the impact on the environment. Coral reefs once vibrant with marine life are threatened by warming oceans, pollution, and the sheer foot traffic of snorkelers. Popular islands like Koh Phi Phi and Maya Bay have had to close their shores for rehabilitation, spotlighting the devastating effects of over-tourism. This situation underscores a broader dilemma. How can we enjoy the natural splendors of Thailand without sacrificing their well-being in the process? Another often overlooked aspect is the labyrinth of corruption that can permeate local governance and law enforcement. Tales of bribery or coffee money are so commonplace that they've become a dark undercurrent running through everyday life. These informal transactions might help someone bypass a bureaucratic hurdle or smooth out a minor legal issue, but they also highlight the systemic problems that hinder progress. For many ordinary Thais, corruption isn't just an inconvenience, it's a reality that can dictate business ventures, property rights, and even personal safety. Meanwhile, in rural parts of the country, the story takes a different turn. Farmers face the challenges of modernization with limited resources and changing weather patterns. This is where you'll also discover an array of customs that reflect deep respect for the land and its spirits. From elaborate festivals celebrating the rice harvest to ceremonial offerings that blend Buddhism with animistic beliefs, these traditions coexist with 21st century challenges. Think about how these contrasts shape the collective Thai identity. To resilience, or do they sometimes serve as barriers to innovation? All the while, the digital age has swept across Thailand, ushering in an era where social media can make or break local businesses in the blink of an eye. Influencer culture is on the rise, and with it, a spotlight on curated experiences that sometimes gloss over harsh truths. Has the Instagram effect helped or hurt Thailand's authenticity? On one hand, viral posts can highlight lesser-known provinces, bringing financial opportunities. On the other, they risk turning these spots into the next overrun tourist trap. Throughout this development phase, you might be asking yourself, how do these unseen facets fit together to form the bigger picture of Thailand's dirty secrets? The reality is that they're not strictly dirty at all. They're simply parts of a complex mosaic that's as beautiful as it is flawed. By understanding these layers, we can move beyond shallow judgments and begin to appreciate the intricate tapestry that is Thai society. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. We'll dive deeper into each topic, shining a light on the moral, gray zones, historical roots, and personal stories that bring them to life. Stay with us, because in the next sections, we'll unearth even more startling truths and reveal how they intersect with broader global issues, everything from human rights to environmental ethics. Along the way, we'll offer fresh perspectives on how travelers, digital nomads, and expats can engage responsibly with Thailand's culture. There's a lot more to unpack, and the deeper we go, the more you'll see that this country's allure is matched only by its capacity to challenge everything you thought you knew. Now let's steer into more complex territory, the interplay between tradition and modernity. Thailand's past is steeped in powerful monarchies, an unbroken royal lineage that commands immense respect, and a cultural tapestry woven from Buddhism, animism, and folk rituals. To this day, images of the king grace public buildings, and devout locals drape shrines with floral garlands or burn incense for blessings. Yet a closer look reveals how these revered symbols can sometimes serve as smokescreens, diverting attention from pressing socioeconomic issues. For instance, lese majesty laws make openly criticizing the monarchy a serious offense, punishable by long prison sentences. Supporters argue that these laws preserve respect for the institution that unifies the nation. Critics contend that such strict regulations stifle free speech and hamper meaningful discourse around governance. This tension illustrates just one of many paradoxes in Thai society: the unwavering loyalty toward tradition set against the push for transparency and reform. Moving on, we can't overlook the cultural significance of the Y, the graceful Thai greeting. It's more than just politeness. It signifies respect, age hierarchy, and social standing. At a glance, it's a beautiful gesture reflecting centuries of tradition. But dig deeper, and you'll see how such hierarchical structures can perpetuate inequalities. Younger Thais, or those in lower economic positions, might feel a quiet pressure to conform, deferring to superiors or tourists, even in situations that compromise their dignity. Does this dynamic inadvertently encourage a culture of submission, or is it a bedrock of societal harmony? Shifting to the countryside, the slower pace of life in villages offers a glimpse into Thailand's agrarian roots. Rice paddies stretch into the horizon, dotted with small communities bound by age-old routines and mutual support. Yet even here, modern problems seep through. Land disputes influenced by foreign investments, migration of younger generations to cities for better-paying jobs, and the lure of quick money in tourist hubs. The quiet beauty of rural Thailand often conceals the harsh economic truths that force families to split apart, with children left in the care of grandparents while parents seek work elsewhere. Another advanced layer is Thailand's intricate relationship with its neighbors. Border towns near Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos become crossroads for trade, both legal and illicit. The Golden Triangle, where Thailand meets Myanmar and Laos, is historically notorious for opium production and trafficking. Despite government crackdowns and shifts in international drug policy, smuggling routes still crisscross these mountainous regions. This underground activity brings crime syndicates and corruption into the picture, affecting everything from local politics to the safety of nearby villages. If we venture into the realm of beliefs and superstitions, we encounter a world that can be bewildering for outsiders. Ghost stories, spirit mediums, and protective amulets aren't merely folklore in Thailand. They hold real sway for many people. One might wear an amulet for protection in business dealings, believing it can ward off misfortune. These beliefs have cultivated entire markets around religious objects, leading to questions about exploitation. Do these faith-based practices enrich Thai culture, or can they become a means for unscrupulous vendors to prey on the faithful? Social stratification is yet another aspect that can be invisible to casual travelers. Thai society has its own hierarchies, influenced by wealth, education, and family connections. Elite circles often hold disproportionate power, while poorer communities remain voiceless. This disparity becomes even more evident in major cities, where glitzy shopping centers tower next to working-class neighborhoods. It's a vivid reminder that, beneath the veneer of tourism ads showcasing endless smiles, are systematic inequalities that rarely make headlines. Finally, let's address the digital nomad phenomenon. Thousands of freelancers, entrepreneurs, and creatives who descend on Thailand each year, drawn by low living costs, tropical climate, and lenient visa regulations. Chiang Mai, in particular, has become a hub for this wave of remote workers. While many embrace local culture, others exist in a bubble of Western comforts, rarely engaging with Thai society in a meaningful way. This dynamic raises ethical questions. Are digital nomads contributing positively to the local economy, or are they inflating rents and commodifying cultural experiences? By now, you're seeing just how layered Thailand really is. It's a land of extremes, serenity and chaos, reverence and revolution, tradition and innovation. When we talk about dirty secrets, we're not merely referring to scandalous headlines. We're exploring the deeper currents that shape the nation's identity. Understanding these complexities requires more than a short vacation or a few sensational stories. It demands an ongoing dialogue about culture, morality, and our global interconnectedness. We hope these insights make you think twice about your next trip to Thailand, compelling you to tread more thoughtfully and engage more respectfully. Before we wrap up the main sections of our investigation, let's circle back to the key questions we've been posing. What exactly are the dirty secrets of Thailand, and do they deserve that label, or are they simply facets of a multifaceted society? By now, it should be clear that what some might brand as dirty or hidden often stems from economic realities, cultural complexities, or historical legacies that are neither easily categorized nor quickly resolved. Let's start with the realm of tourism. We uncovered how unregulated nightlife districts and unscrupulous operators fuel curiosity yet exploit vulnerabilities. This might be seen as a moral failing, but is it solely Thailand's responsibility? Tourists often play a part, chasing hedonistic thrills without considering the broader repercussions. Similarly, the environmental impacts we discussed, especially on coral reefs and sacred islands, remain a collective problem. Governmental oversight, corporate responsibility, and traveler awareness all intertwine in shaping the fate of these fragile ecosystems. Next, we dove deep into cultural intersections. From the revered monarchy to the intricate codes of respect, from rural traditions to modern entrepreneurial hubs. Each element offers its own set of contradictions. The monarchy unifies yet restricts free speech. Hierarchical greetings showcase respect, yet may stifle individual expression. Rural life exudes timeless charm, but struggles under economic and migratory pressures. The digital nomad scene breathes new energy into local economies, yet can contribute to gentrification. None of these points are purely negative or purely positive. They exist in tension with one another, forming the living mosaic that is Thailand. This tension can be observed in how local communities balance reverence for tradition with the demands of globalization. For every shrine tenderly maintained by villagers, there's a luxury resort around the corner drawing wealthy tourists. For every festival that preserves an age-old custom, there's a brand sponsorship that risks commercializing the experience. The push and pull between preserving authenticity and embracing modernity is a hallmark of countless cultures worldwide. But in Thailand, it's heightened by the nation's magnetic global appeal. Returning to our theme, are these hidden realities truly secrets, or do we simply prefer the more polished narrative promoted by tourism campaigns? Many of these issues are public knowledge within Thailand, openly debated in some circles and whispered about in others. Yet, they remain obscured to casual observers who breeze through on a short holiday. This is the crux of why it's so important to look beyond the glossy postcards and curated social media snapshots. Doing so not only grants a more honest view of the country, but also fosters empathy and responsible engagement. By illuminating these hidden facets, we do more than just point fingers. We open doors to understanding and potential change. Conversations that spark awareness can lead to shifts in personal behavior, choosing eco-friendly tours, respecting local customs, or supporting ethical wildlife sanctuaries. They can also spark broader debates about policy reforms, fair labor practices, and the allocation of public resources. Ultimately, the power to transform the narrative rests with both the local population and the visitors who shape demand. Throughout this video, we've touched on heart-wrenching stories of exploitation, uplifting examples of community resilience, and everything in between. As we approach our conclusion, let's underscore a key point. Thailand is not just a place. It's a living, breathing tapestry of people, beliefs, and histories. It's as capable of enchanting you with stunning sunsets and gracious hospitality as it is of challenging your preconceived notions with uncomfortable truths. With that in mind, we invite you to shift from observer to participant. The next time you find yourself strolling a night market, consider the livelihoods and traditions that give that space its energy. If you visit a temple, pause to appreciate the centuries of devotion that shaped its architecture. And if you're confronted with one of Thailand's dirty secrets, whether it's an ethically questionable tourist attraction or a system that seems rife with corruption, don't look away. Ask questions, engage in conversation, recognize that every culture holds complexities, and the act of shining a light on them can spark positive action. So, what does all this mean for you, the traveler or curious soul seeking deeper truths? It means your experience in Thailand can transcend the cookie-cutter itinerary. It can become a journey of discovery, not just of scenic wonders and mouth-watering cuisine, but of nuanced social realities, moral questions, and cultural treasures that lie beyond the tourist brochure. And in that journey, you'll find that the country reveals itself in a more profound way, teaching lessons that might just follow you long after you've returned home. Congratulations on staying with us to the end of this deep exploration into Thailand's hidden layers. We've journeyed through vibrant city streets and hushed rural landscapes, touched on social hierarchies, environmental dilemmas, and cultural complexities, all to uncover the lesser-known realities that shape the land of smiles. The goal wasn't to tarnish Thailand's image or discourage you from experiencing its wonders. Quite the opposite. We hope to enrich your perspective, encouraging you to see beyond the surface-level narratives and engage with Thailand in a more responsible, meaningful way. It's natural to feel a mix of awe, curiosity, and perhaps a little unease. That's a testament to how multifaceted this country truly is. The truth is, every corner of the globe holds its mysteries and moral gray zones. Thailand is no exception. The difference lies in the openness to acknowledge them. When we shine a light on uncomfortable topics like corruption, exploitation, or cultural appropriation, we aren't just pointing out flaws, we're taking the first steps toward transformation. These discussions matter because they give us agency to be better travelers, more conscious global citizens, and perhaps even catalysts for positive change. If you're planning a trip to Thailand, consider venturing beyond the usual tourist hotspots. Spend a day in a lesser-known village, listen to the stories of local artisans, support community-driven tours, and make time to learn about environmental restoration projects. Instead of simply ticking off bucket list items like visiting the Grand Palace or partying in Patong, challenge yourself to dig deeper. You'll find that personal interactions, honest conversations, and mindful choices can shape a far richer travel experience. It's about shifting from a consumer mindset to an empathetic observer, someone who participates in the culture rather than merely consumes it. For those of you who identify as digital nomads or plan on staying for an extended period, reflect on your footprint. Ask yourself if your presence uplifts local businesses or inadvertently raises prices for everyone. Look for opportunities to volunteer, share skills, or create collaborative projects with Thai entrepreneurs. Remember that building real relationships takes time and a willingness to adapt. Immersing yourself in the local way of life, learning the language, respecting social norms, can open doors to genuine friendships that transcend cultural barriers. It's also worth acknowledging that Thailand, like many places, is evolving at a rapid pace. Major infrastructure projects, shifts in governance, and the global pandemic's ripple effects have significantly altered both urban and rural landscapes. The stories you hear today might change tomorrow, and that's part of the country's dynamic nature. Staying informed about current events is crucial if you want to engage responsibly. Local news outlets, independent blogs, and community forums can offer insights you won't find in mainstream travel guides. Now let's tie it all back to you. How will you integrate what you've learned today into your worldview? Will these revelations spark a more mindful approach to travel, or encourage you to question simplistic stereotypes you may encounter about Thailand, or any country for that matter? We hope the answer is a resounding yes. Every narrative has countless angles, and by seeking out the lesser-known perspectives, you develop a richer understanding of the places you visit and the people you meet. If you found value in this deep dive, we invite you to keep the momentum going. Use the comment section to share your own experiences in Thailand. Have you witnessed any of the issues we discussed? Or maybe you discovered a heartwarming community initiative that restored your faith in humanity. Whatever your story, your insights can help others navigate Thailand more thoughtfully. In this sense, our channel, Unmasked Planet, becomes a forum for collective exploration, where knowledge isn't just handed down, it's co-created by a community of inquisitive minds. Remember our opening challenge? Remember our opening. If you haven't yet, drop a "I seek the truth" in the comments to reaffirm your commitment to learning the hidden stories of our planet. This simple act not only encourages others to join the conversation, but also sends a message that you're here to engage, not just consume. And of course, if you know someone planning a trip or already living in Thailand, share this video with them. You never know whose perspective might be broadened by a single insight. As we wrap up, we'd like to point you toward another enlightening adventure. Check out our recommended video appearing on screen now. It dives into the lesser-known cultural practices of another famously exotic destination, peeling back the layers to reveal truths that rarely make it into tour brochures. Don't miss it. It's the perfect companion piece to everything we've explored today. Comment below with the phrase "uncovering the unseen" to let us know you made it this far and are committed to looking at every destination with fresh eyes and an open heart. Thank you for being part of this journey with Unmasked Planet. Together, we can redefine what it means to explore the world. One dirty secret at a time, one open conversation at a time. Safe travels, stay curious, and remember, the real adventure often starts where the postcard ends. We'll see you in the next video.